Okay, this is the day after Thanksgiving, and the weather conditions are fairly extreme. I don't know if you can see the wind blowing through the trees in the background, but wind gusts are over 25 miles per hour, and it's cold, so the wind chill factor is low. Now, that's not severe for the deer, but it is for us as hunters. But using the wind, I'm hoping to eliminate some places where deer won't be today, and that way it'll narrow down the places I need to hunt. So I'm going to be looking for the deep hollers and things like that, or the ridges on the opposite side where the wind's blowing, to get out of these high gusts. But the bad thing about it is I just came into the woods and I saw 3 deer standing on top of a ridge, so they're kind of defeating my strategy by them being on top of the ridge. I figured they'd be all down in the deep hollers. So we're going to give it a shot and we'll see what happens. Okay, real quick, come in here this morning. I don't know if you recognize this cherry tree. Came back to the well one more time to see if I could do any good. I actually saw 2 does go through this morning, and it's actually really cold. It's one of those damp colds, but just not feeling it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get all my gear together. I'm gonna go up about another 100 yards where I know there's some fresh buck sign. I've seen several does come through there, and there's a scrape line that goes all the way up. So maybe with the wind blowing in my face, maybe the bucks will be coming downwind to check the scrapes, trying to pick up another doe, or with the food supply in there, maybe they can go in there and just find a doe. So we're gonna make a move real quick and get up there and get set up again. Okay, this is the second setup this morning, and I'm basically hunting. If you look right up here, you see that flat. That's another bench. This is a different location, but you got this finger ridge going up, hitting that main ridge up there, which you can't see because of the trees. But this finger ridge is coming down, and it flattens out. It benches, goes off steep again, then drops on down into this holler. And you got this logging road that goes around it. And I've scouted that. There's probably 5 or 6 scrapes up through there, and a few more up on that finger ridge. Good doe population I've seen in there, so there's a lot of food, a lot of activity. And I was trying to get below this bench here, see if I can get some bucks looking for does, or does coming through with bucks. And I also was thinking that maybe some of the bucks might be coming down and just scent checking that bench to see if any of the scrapes have been opened up, or any does have been coming through there. But you know, this is public land, low deer density, and especially low buck density. And I call these bucks, mature bucks in here, ghosts, and that's a fact. You rarely see them. Sometimes you might get them on a trail camera picture late at night, and you might get one picture and that's it. Early season, hard to find. They usually don't come out till late season. Now, one positive thing is I found some rubs, and they look relatively new, and they're in the same location where I found some rubs over the last 2 or 3 years. So is it the same buck? Did he survive? I don't know. Just over 2,000 acres in here to hunt. It's tough hunting, public land, but it's rewarding if you stick with it. So we're gonna keep sticking with it. All right, this is the 3rd ground blind setup that I've done, or ground stand, whichever term you want to use. Still on public land. Last night I did see 3 does. Videoed one of them out of the ground stand. If you can look right here, I'm over a holler past this tree, and right down here you see another bench. So this is how I'm getting set up. But came in here this morning and I hunted and it's almost 12 o'clock. Didn't see anything. That's how it goes sometimes. So you just gotta keep after it. Okay, this is the last day of deer season and we're back to bow. Actually, we've been back to bow for a couple of weeks as soon as rifle season went out. I went to bow and it's buck only. And look at this. I got short sleeves on. Here it is, winter time, and the temperature's in the 60s. But we're gonna give it one more shot. Hey, no pun intended, one shot hunting, right? We're gonna give it one more shot. Go back up here where those big rubs are at, where I've noticed those rubs for the last, I guess, 3 years. You can look up here. It's all uphill. So I guess I better stop talking and start walking. But if you enjoy the content, hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. You know, I just started this video series out this year, trying to grow, and you can grow along with us. Thanks. Let's get up there and see if we can't get this deer on the ground. So I'm gonna set up. We'll see what happens. I'm actually going to use my grunt call this late in the year. Still been seeing quite a bit of signs. So, you know, I'm gonna act like it's November and the rut is still on. So let's see what happens. It's a little windy, so they may not be able to hear. I may have to wait till the wind dies down and grunt in between the wind gusts. Okay, that concludes the deer hunting in North Carolina. Today was the last day. As you can tell, I've still got my blaze orange on. That is a requirement on our state lands, even though it's bow season. But we came up here, got set up on the ground. Felt like we were in a really good position to possibly see a buck come into this area. We're still working the scrapes. I'm still finding fresh rubs this late in the year. So I know the buck activity is still up. It may not be as high as it was when it peaked in November, but I felt like this was the best chance for us to get an opportunity at a late season buck. And you've probably figured it out by now after watching the video on what I was saying, don't do this. It was primarily the ground stands. You know, I got caught up in just primarily hunting from the ground. You know, it worked out really well with that 2.5-year-old 8-point. They were able to harvest on public land, so that was a great hunt. But with a bow, it's a lot more difficult. Now, obviously it can be done. I've done it. I know many of you have done it also, but I felt like I painted myself in a corner, so to speak, and I was only utilizing that type of strategy. What I would recommend doing is go back and look at your data, and I had collected a lot of data this year. I should have went back in, did a sanity check, evaluate things, and say, okay, hey, there's some other areas over here that I had scouted before that were tree stand setups that I probably should have utilized. And maybe we could have given me, you know, a better chance of harvesting a buck. You know, when you're on the ground, you're at eye level with the deer. They can see you better, easier. They can smell you. It's the same way, as well as hear you. And then conversely, you can't see them or hear them better while you're on the ground. So you're losing some of the advantages. So I felt like I should have went back and utilized some of the tree stand approaches. And I believe that would have given me a better opportunity of possibly harvesting a buck. So hope you enjoyed that, and we'll see you next time on the next hunt.